Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Tiny Epic Galaxies. If you have watched the first two videos, you will have an idea of how Tiny Epic Galaxies runs. I've set up to have a game, or part of a game, set up for 2 players. Notice the number of planets that are set up is the number of players plus 2, so we've got 4 planets out. Yellow versus red. I've picked up the end game card to start with, so yellow is trying to get power, because if he has the most power at the end, he'll get 3 more points. And red is trying to have the most planets, because if he has the most, he'll get 3 more points. So yellow is going to go first. He'll take the 4 dice. He has 4 dice because next to this marker it says 4 dice, and he's got 2 ships as well, as does red. Okay, he rolls. Looking at some dice that are going to do very little. He will use one of those dice to upgrade his empire, but he's going to have to spend power or culture. Now, the spend is, and I didn't actually go into this in the rules video, but to move to number 2, he needs to spend 2 power or 2 culture. So he's going to spend 2 power to get that move forward. And what that will give him is a 5th die from his next turn on. Red, as much as he would love to follow that action, by doing so, he would end up with no resource at all. Everything would be on 0. So he's just going to sit back where he is for the moment. I've got 1 free reroll, which I'll use right now. That gives me a ship and a move forward on either of those 2 iconed planets. So what he might do is he'll send this ship out. He's going to put that ship there, which allows him to change one of the inactive dice to active. So because he's activated that, he's going to turn this one, sorry, not to active, to any side that he wishes. So he's going to turn that one to the rocket side, and he'll then place that one there, which will get his 2nd ship out, and he'll put the 2nd ship out here. Red wants to follow that action, so he's going to move his culture down 1, and that will allow him to move one of his ships further out. And he's going to go straight into orbit on that planet. In fact, no, he's going to land on that planet, which will gain him 1 culture. So he gets that culture back and gets a ship out there for free. I don't know if there's much value in what I just did, but it's happened now, so let's keep moving. And then he's going to take that die, which allows him to move forward in the orbit on the planet that he's on. And there's no point in red trying to follow that, because he's not on a planet that, or in orbit on a planet that he'd be able to follow with. Okay, it's red's turn. Red has 4 dice. So to start with, red shall move his, he likes the look of that one as well. So he's going to move his ship over to that particular planet by activating that die. Yellow can spend 1 culture to follow the action, and he is going to follow the action, grabbing that ship. Let's go for a quick one. He's going to put in orbit around that planet. Red can use that one to move forward. He can then use that one, and he will get 1. He's only got 1 guy out, so he's going to get 1 culture for doing that. So the culture moves from 1 to 2. He's going to use his free reroll. I don't believe I've done that yet. To roll that, and that will get him power, but he doesn't have any red ships on the ones that are power. So he could spend power to keep rolling, but he doesn't want to waste his resource. So let's leave that there and pass it back over to yellow. Yellow's turn. He is rolling 5 dice because of where he is on this particular location. So rolling 5 dice. He can move 1 rocket ship, but he doesn't want to because they're both in orbit. He will, however, use both of these to move forward his orbit up to the number 4. Red is going to use a culture to follow the first one, and he'll use another culture to follow the second one. So that'll push him forward to the same spot. So notice that you can follow absolutely as many of the dice rolls as you like. Now, yellow can't use this one because he doesn't have any resource left to be able to action it. That one he will use because that allows him to move this ship forward 1, and he will use his free reroll to reroll both of those They're both rocket ships. They're no good to him. He doesn't have any power left, so he can't do anything with that. He's going to leave it as is and pass over to red. Red only has 4 dice and 2 ships, so rolling the 4 dice. Okay, red will use one of those dice to send out his other ship. He's going to head out to here, which will gain him 1 culture. He might then use this. Yellow is unable to follow at all this turn, so I'm not going to talk about that. He might use this then to move his ship to another location, and look, it might be viable for him to go there, and that will gain him 2, and it will gain yellow 1. So it's good for yellow. The other 2 are of little use to him, so he's going to, let's roll again. Okay, and we've come up with some ones that are no good at all here, so he might use that, which will cost him 2. He might use the 2 culture to move that forward, and that will give him 5 dice from the next turn on. That 1 die is of no help to him, but I think he wants to save the power for the moment to try and build that up, so he's not going to re-roll it. He'll pass those across to yellow. Yellow's rolling 5 dice. So yellow really needs to get these ones up higher. He can move up by 2 by playing that one, which he's going to do. So it's 1 for that orbit and 1 for that orbit. So he'll move his culture up by 2. Red can spend 1 culture to gain 1, 2 culture because of those 2 planets to follow the action. So he'll spend 1 to gain 2, so he gets basically 1 free culture for doing that. In order for yellow to be able to action that, he's going to need to spend 3 of any resource. Now he has 3 culture, so he's going to actually do that one. So that moves to there. He spends his 3 culture, and that moves forward 1, which gives him now 5 dice and 3 ships. That ship is now available to him straight away on the same turn. Notice that the number is just there. It's worth victory points at the end of the game as well. Red doesn't have enough resources to be able to follow, because you need to spend all 3 from the same resource track. He's only got 2 on each, so he can't follow. That die is of no help to anything. There's not enough resources at the table to use that one at the moment, and both of his guys are in orbit, so he's going to use his free reroll to reroll those ones. He'll action that, which will give him another 2 culture because of that planet and that planet. Once again, red will spend 1 to gain 2 because of that planet and that planet as the follow action. Yellow doesn't have any more power to spend to be able to reroll those 2 dice. So he's just going to sit off where he is and not do any more and pass across to red. Red is still rolling 5 dice. So red has the ability to move one of his ships around. He'll start with this one. He will definitely do that. So that moves up to number 5. He just needs 1 more of those icons to be able to claim that planet. Yellow is going to spend the 1 culture to follow. So they're both even again. Red is going to use the ship die to move this ship over to this planet, which allows him to reset 1 of the dice, inactive dice, which is this one, to any side that he wishes, and he's going to set it to that side, which allows him to complete the orbit, which brings those 2 dice, those 2 ships back to his galaxy. That goes back to the yellow galaxy, and that now becomes the property of the red player, and he can activate that whenever he rolls that particular icon. Now he has 1 of those icons, so he might use that straight away, and he's going to do this one, and he'll use that one to change this die to the rocket ship side to send out one of the rocket ships, so you can at least get benefit in future turns. And he wants power, so he's going to go onto there. We should turn another card over that is now available for the next people to colonize. Okay, look, I think you've got a really good grasp of how this game is running and is going to run. At the moment, if we were to finish here, yellow has 2 points, red has 8 points, so 1 plus the 7 there. not including what's on those cards. I hope this helps you get Tiny Epic Galaxy to the table. I hope this gives you a better feel for how the game plays. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you've got any games that you wish to be Gamesplayed, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to see what games I've been playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.